I want to take just a quick few minutes to talk about Murder Inc. It's so sprawling and it involves so many interesting guys. We'll do them one at a time. If you don't know, Murder Inc. was a group put together at the suggestion. This might be rumor, but according to Cobbler, a guy who wrote Capone's biography, who took all his information, by the way, from the FBI files. It was Capone who said, "Look, we need a disciplinary arm," and he more or less advocated a Murder Inc. It made sense in that world. It made sense at the time. A lot of these guys came up in the 1880s, 1890s, 1910, 20. When they were teens, just getting into crime, really it wasn't that organized. So you could shoot somebody in the head because he looked at you the wrong way, or look at Capone. He got his face slashed up because he made a remark to some guy's sister. It was a circus, a rodeo. So they did need discipline, especially to deal with that type of people. They were nuts. B, they had no discipline. And C, they were criminals. So I wanted to. The reason I got so interested in this is my mother grew up on Herkimer Street, which is on the edge of Brownsville. Brownsville was a horrible place then. I don't think it's much better today. They were really, really poor people. And Rose's sandwich shop was around the corner. It was on Saratoga Avenue. It's still there. If you want to drive by 779 Saratoga Avenue in Brownsville, it was a coffee shop, newspaper thing. Candy store, it's often called. It was a little bit of everything. Basically, you see them up in the New York region a lot. And Bodega's the same thing today. So these clowns hung up. By the way, I want to tell you, I asked my mother, I said, "Ma, you grew up around that time? Did you see these guys?" "Yeah, I saw them all the time. They were hanging around for." What were they like? She said, "Oh, they were nice fellas. They were nice fellas. They weren't bad fellas. You could walk by there. Nobody said nothing fresh." So you had to kind of know my mother. Uh, um, anyway, they hung out there. There was a little cot in back. They slept there. There was a series of payphones. This is way before wiretapping became a thing. And so they spoke on the phone freely. And jobs, murders, you could get paid $1,000 to $5,000. I really dispute that. I don't know if that's true at all. I think a lot of it was if a guy named Anastasia said, "Go and kill so-and-so," that's what you did. But they'd call, they'd take the phone. These guys whoever happened to be there would pick up the phone and say, "All right, I'll go kill Louis," or something like that. And so they did approximately 400 to 1,000 murders in the time they existed. What I wanted to talk about, though, is, again, crime writers have written these guys to be sort of almost comical characters. They weren't. They were psychopaths. Can you imagine that's your job? You sat around waiting for a phone to ring to tell you to go kill somebody. That's the mentality you're dealing with. A lot of them were drug addicts. The guy who killed Dutch Schultz was a heroin addict. He was a member of Murder Inc. Being involved with the mob is not all that. It's not a lot of fun. You see it on these shows. They're just hanging around all the time. Well, if you're going to run numbers, which is dying out now, but in those days it was a big deal. Up until I was a teen, running numbers was profitable. That's why the government took it over. So you're going to run numbers. You're going to run women. I don't know. I have any experience in that. You're going to horn your way into a labor union. It's work. You got to work. And once you get in on this, by the way, let's say you're running numbers. The guys you work for, you can't say, "Here's $500 because I'm running numbers," and next week or next month show up with $5. It doesn't work that way. You got to pay a consistent amount. And it's 7 days a week. It's hard work. And these were guys who, they don't want to work hard.